welcome to the Gravel Trap Podcast. And on today's show, I'm your host, Sean, and I got fellow co hosts, Chris and Zin. How's it going, guys?
Going good. Can't complain. Although I can complain considering we just had hail.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of thunderstorms going on through the Midwest. So,
My brain hurts at the moment.
oh. Is it something we need to talk about?
It's something that I've seen while scrolling through reels, and it
Oh,
says a
no.
Kentucky man who threw a boomerang that flew back and hit himself in the head has sued himself and won $300,000.
Huh?
From himself?
Yes, and astonishingly, it will not cost him a cent because all the money he won comes from his insurance company. So he sued himself for $300,000, won, and gets paid by his insurance company for hitting himself in the head.
My head hurts from trying to figure that out.
Now you know why I said my brain hurts.
Oh my god.
Fucking read it for yourself.
Welcome to 2025.
This was
people.
actually
Can I put a blank
1996
check in the mail
apparently.
and send it to someone and then just get my money out of it?
Isn't that technically insurance fraud?
Yes.
I mean, it may not have been back in 1996.
Oh, is that when it was?
Apparently so, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought this was like literally just happened, and I was gonna say, technically, isn't that insurance fraud? Because that'd be like hitting yourself with your own car and trying to get the insurance on it.
America never ceases to amaze me.
Anyway, yeah. So there's that. Yeah, I've literally that completely threw me off track.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
that was the epitome of being stuck in the gravel trap.
And we're off.
Anyway, let's get on to some. Let's just jump right into sim racing news here. Well, so do we want to talk about our individual Indy 500 fixed races?
Sure.
We can hit on that for a little bit.
Chris, you want to go first since you didn't do it?
Yeah, I had a great time watching Sin almost die in the Indy 500.
Yeah, it was an interesting race to say the least. I turned around and as only I can have oval luck, I went into the pits because I had damage. My right front wing was broken. As I come to find out when I watched the replay after the race. And so I go into the pits, and as I'm literally in the pits, past the wall, but still before the whatever pit speed line,
Mhm.
caution comes out. So I'm literally fucked. Like we were talking about it as it was happening. Have no
Mhm.
idea if you could like real life just drive through the pits and not get a penalty. I think iRacing automatically gives you a penalty no matter what. So anyway, so I get the service done, get the nose changed. Well, the penalty for that is you have to drop to the end of the longest line. So I go around, everybody goes into the pits, and so I catch up. I catch up to the back of the field. I'm at the end of the longest line. Everybody pits. I'm now at the front of the field, and instead of getting a wave around to stay on the lead lap and still be at the end of the longest line, iRacing made me drop all the way to back to the field, and now I'm a lap down on top of it. So I got kind of royally fucked by that point. But then coming to, I think we were down to 30 or 35 laps to go, something like that. I was deciding to try and figure out when to make my last stop because I knew everybody else was going to have to make a stop. And so I came into the pits with 20 to go, filled up enough to take me to the end and didn't have to worry about green flag, green, white check or whatever like NASCAR does. And so came back out. Everybody else cycled through pits and whatnot, and then there was another caution that came out with like I don't know, 6 to go, 4 to go, something like that. Um, or maybe it was I think it was 4 to go, and so we took the green flag with 1 to go, but because everybody in front pit and I stayed out, I got to go back around because I was the first car in line.
Mhm.
So with 1 lap to go, I'm finally back on the lead lap, restarting 15th. A bunch of people wreck in front of me going into turn 3. I managed to avoid it and finish 6th after all was said and done in second split.
After all the angry.
Yeah. So I could not have scripted that. I did not excuse me, I did not expect to have that good of a result. Considering the only fixed official race I did during the week to prep for it, I was leading with 2 to go and my internet cut out for maintenance. So
Yeah.
I'm like, this is great. But yeah, I found out I was in second split for the Friday night time spot, so it was very competitive.
Right. Yeah. Mine wasn't that eventful. Definitely. I I was at the. We got going. Shoot, what we ran like 50, 60 laps straight of green flag running. Like it was. We managed to make a green flag pit stop and cycle around and get everything. I mainly stayed. My strategy was just to stay at the tail end of the pack, just in case, crazy stuff happened and people started wrecking each other, which generally actually worked out in my favor. Just kind of hovering right around 10th, 15th, um, back and forth, moved around through pit stop, and then we got, gosh, it was like 70 or 60 or 70 to go was when we had our last caution.
Right.
And we went back green, and then the field kind of got strung out, and people were like slowing down, giving up the lead to try to basically stay out of the lead, because obviously when you're the leader, you're burning the most fuel no
Yep.
matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, then the field just kind of got, there was one accident, actually, 1 or 2 accidents that split the pack up, but nobody, I don't know if it was just because the cars hit the wall and stayed up there that there was no caution, or the other one was the guy literally spun, but he went like immediately down onto the apron. So he was completely off the racing line. Well, those 2 incidences caused the pack to really get strung out and basically broke up. So just riding around in like 15th place, as soon as I basically, with my fuel calculator that I have through Race Labs and stuff like that, as soon as it was basically in the green, for your like pit window, I came into the pits, got my 4 tires, my fuel, and went back out. I think I dropped down to like 17th or 18th. We had fairly high attrition in our race. There was like 18th was literally like about the last car running. I think we only had 20 cars running at about the end of it.
Yeah, I think we
And
only had 15 running at the end or something like that. Because
yeah,
I was 14th or 15th as the last car on the lead lap when we restarted for the final time.
yeah. So, and basically because I had pitted at the beginning of the pit window and I was good to go to the end, I basically turned the fuel map up to max and was hauling while everybody was basically trying to stretch as far as they could go for a splash and dash at the end. So as cars were basically pitting and coming in, I was just basically picking them off one by one, going around, and I eventually got back up into 10th place. But unfortunately, I still couldn't get close enough up to the leaders, even with them trying to massively fuel save. So I came home about 10th place, which I mean was better than my last year's Indy 500, which literally got wiped out on the first lap. So
Yeah, and I think I wrecked out on like lap 120 or something like that last year. So
yeah, that was a mess. Like literally just driving, the guy in front of me, one of the guys in front of us literally hit the grass last year, looped it in front of the field, massive crash. And of course, with the Indy cars on iRacing, you can literally get so much damage, you're done. So it's literally lap 1, you're done.
Oh, he pulled a what was it? Was it VK that did that in the
Yeah,
race?
something like that.
Yeah, or Ericsson, one of was a rookie,
Mhm.
I think, last year or the year before.
So yeah, basically the start of my race last year was over at the beginning,
Yeah,
which was shitty. But
yeah. And
so yeah,
I don't think I'm going to do the Open because I'd have to do it tomorrow night, and I haven't qualified or done any practice with the Open setup. So I think I doubt I'm going to finish anywhere near as good as I did 6th and second split. Probably not going to get much better than that.
no, yeah, and I've got to work all weekend, so I'm out on that. Chris, you should totally.
I
You should do
don't
it.
have the license.
What?
You don't have the car?
I said I
It's
don't have the
oval license.
license.
It's oval rating. See,
Yeah.
you gotta be D 4.0.
I'm D 3.0.
Oh my goodness, this man. You're failure.
Oi.
So,
I'm embarrassed for you.
well, on that bombshell, back to 10.
So you're
on
saying
that
he's not coming on the show.
and on that disappointment, back to the 10. So yeah, this weekend, is the open variant of it, and then next week will be the Coke 600. I don't know if I'm gonna do the Coke 600 or not yet. I haven't decided.
It's gonna be like a 5-hour race.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if they put a thing up for it yet. No, they don't have it. They just have the 24 hours Nürburgring and the 4 hours of Thruxton. They don't have. Well, because it runs as part of NIS, it doesn't run as a special event. So,
yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yep. But all right, I'll move on to some more sim racing news.
The 24 hours of Nürburgring is literally the weekend I come back into town.
So we're gonna do this with no practice. No, we're literally winging this.
They have the initial BOP already. Holy shit!
Dang!
Wow.
Wow! Look at them. They're proactive, and we're waiting until the last absolute minute to do anything.
we're bass backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
All right. Let's see here. This article is from traction.gg. For those of you who've been following along with the Tokyo Extreme Racer beta early access, got some a little bit of sad news for you. The original 1.0 of the release was supposed to come out sometime at the end of this May. Unfortunately, they're pushing it back to sometime towards the end of September. According to the developer, this is because it has received a tremendous amount of feedback and will be revisiting the planned features. It also states that it will be spending more time developing and fine-tuning the game, while simultaneously provisioning an extra buffer to conclude license talks for certain cars that it hasn't yet had. It says we are near closing of all the licenses in discussion and are confident that we can implement everything into the full release now set for September. Obviously, the final variant of the game will include 200 extra rivals on top of the rivals that are already in the game. Extra, and obviously come with extra car brands and manufacturers. Some coming even from outside of Japan. There's still talks of a PlayStation only console release on the console side. So any Xbox people, unfortunately, right now you're not scheduled to get any variation of the game, and that's basically because of Tokyo's Extreme Racers history with PlayStation. So In addition to that, extra content in the following features are also going to be improved and worked on before its final release in September for 1.0. They're working on fixing AI behavior across racing and traffic cars, polishing up the UI system. Complete redesign of the perk and skill trees is going to be coming to be more efficient and more user friendly. Greater focusing on game balancing and tuning of rival cars will also be a thing for when you go to reface them later on down the road in the game. Obviously, there will be more Steam achievements and PlayStation Trophy achievements along the way. Replay functionality. Sorry. They're also looking at allowing certain cars to have engine conversions as well. So you might be able to K-swap one of the older Civics, or possibly R26 swap a Sylvia or something along that lines. They're also working on dynamic water and oil temperature functionalities, a hard mode, and possibly some sort of dynamic weather feature in the game as well. So,
See, that's what I miss in games is that, certain level of realism that you can do, realistic motor swaps, like putting an RB into an S chassis, or
yep.
Putting a K24 in an EG Civic hatch, just stuff like that.
LS swap everything.
Yeah,
Shut
LS
up.
swap an RX-7, like it's
Yeah.
just like that. I remember back on the PS2 and the original Xbox days, like there was 3 or 4 different games, and I think even Forza was that way, the very first Forza, where it had, that kind of import tuner super street type level of customization, and it was fully licensed and authorized and whole 9 yards.
Right.
And that was complementary to what Need for Speed was doing with Underground. I want a return to those kind of games. I tried playing Need for Speed Unbound primarily because they have the 95 Eclipse in it, and I hadn't seen that in a Need for Speed game since the first Underground.
Right.
But I can't get past the gimmicky fucking cartoon shit that makes NASCAR's driver avatars look fantastic. It's just
ouch.
I mean, it's seriously awful. Like the cell shaded whatever art style that they picked, and you can't turn it off. And I'm fairly certain the map and the city are the exact same from Heat. I could be wrong, but it feels that way. And I'm like,
I don't know.
It's a miss in my mind.
Yeah.
So thankfully, it's part of Game Pass. So I didn't actually have to pay anything for it.
Well, that's good
for that game, but
I mean, I've been going back while the races have been going on, while I've been watching them and playing Most Wanted, the OG one, not the later remake that they kind of had, or that one, but the original Most Wanted and stuff like that.
Well,
mainly because
a remaster of Hot Pursuit, but I don't think they ever did anything for Most Wanted.
Yeah, well, they had another Most Wanted that came out like in the mid 2010s.
It was like It was 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't good.
Yeah. And anyway, playing the original Most Wanted, and mainly because it has, I've basically going back and finding games that have the Pontiac GTO in it, or Monaro, and playing those games. So yeah, I mean, I've been having fun. It's like literally drop back in everything that you remember about it. Still fun to play. Of course, now it's even, like I said, instead of playing it on my little 20-inch TV that I had back in the day, now I'm playing it on a 75-inch, so it's kind of stretched out a little bit, but still looks fun. So
Yeah.
yeah, but like you said, I missed that with games, So all right. Move on to our next topic here. This one also by Traction.gg. The SimiQ 2 Sport wheelbase has dropped 220 euros in price for a limited time. This deal ends on May 18th. So for those of you looking to get into the SimiQ base or SimiQ ecosystem, act fast because the direct wheelbase price is now available at a discounted price of, it says 999 euros. And let's see here. It offers 17 Newton meters of direct drive torque and a metal housing, promising precise and low latency force feedback. It was recently updated to offer the 360 hertz force feedback for iRacing. The SimiCube sits at the entry level wheelbase compared to the 25 Newton meter Pro and the 32 Newton meter Ultimate. This deal is just on the wheelbase alone. The idea is it could be paired with SimiCube's Velo GT23 wheel, which they said that feels rewarded for trusting quality over quantity. That was in their Tractions review. So anybody looking to get into the SimiCube EcoBase or ecosystem, sorry, go check that out before the sale ends in a couple days. All right. Okay. Next topic, also from Traction. The F1 2025 game, or F1 25, that'll be coming out here shortly, will feature playable scenarios from the new F1 movie. This will come via either the iconic edition of the game or a separate DLC pack. Let's see here. So how their article goes on to state that you'll be able to play scenarios from the Brad Pitt Formula One movie, where Brad Pitt plays an egotistical veteran racing driver for a fictional APX GP team alongside his rookie teammate. Sounds a lot like a live action version of a Breaking Point story. That's on their review of it so far, or at least their synopsis of it. The movie's directed by Top Gun Mavericks Joseph Kosinski, and obviously produced by Lewis Hamilton. So you'll be able to drive key moments from the F1 movie, and obviously the actual APX GP car will be in the game as an extra team. So there you go. There's our 20 or our 11th team fictionally.
Yeah, until we get F1 26 with Cadillac.
Right. So yeah, it comes with 6 playable scenarios, each inspired by the film. Each scenario will blend cinematics from the actual film itself with on-track gameplay and other objectives to complete, depending on the driver you play as. It's set in Silverstone, and the first scenario will be available in both the standard and iconic editions. Additional scenarios featuring race weekends from Monza, Zandvoort, Mexico, Spa, and Abu Dhabi will be a pre-order bonus or the DLC separate edition. Says, however, the F1 movie chapter scenarios won't be playable until June 30th to avoid spoiling key scenes before the film's theatrical release. You'll also be able to race as the team in career mode and be able to customize the team fully in career mode. Also comes as a partnership with Apple Movies, EA Sports. Branding will appear on the car and throughout the film as well. EA's VP of Brand and Communications, John Rosenberg, went on to say how great the partnership is between the movie and Formula One and EA. So yeah, the game releases on May 30th on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. And the movie hits cinemas on June 25th and in the US and 27th internationally. And then the content will be released on the 30th for the game. So for fans of the F1 game, if you're planning on getting it and you want to plunk down the extra money to play some scenarios from the movie, there you go. I mean, I'll probably end up going and watching the movie. But as far as buying the F1 25 game, probably not.
Yeah,
Definitely a no.
Especially after EA has more or less gutted Codemasters.
I will not support a pain in the ass like that.
I mean, I've watched like Jimmer and other people that have played the latest versions all the way back to like F121 and stuff, and I just don't see anything that's like that seems really fun to play. Which is
the community is super toxic.
Oh god, it's awful. Yeah, it's so
Speaking of, Zin's had a run with the F1 community. Hasn't even played it.
Yeah, well, otherwise known as
One
your
time.
average modern iRacer. Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy.
I love how that's how it's
I
described.
forgot about that douchebag.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't give
Yeah.
him any more
Airtime.
acknowledgement. Yep.
So two things. First of all, happy default iRacing weather day.
Oh yeah.
For those
Forgot
that
about
don't
that,
know,
yeah.
Whenever you go into a session, test drive or host it or whatever, it automatically defaults to May 15th as the day. But we've kind of talked about it off and on as stuff has come out, but Car Throttle and a couple other different places have compiled so far a complete list of cars that have been announced for Project Motorsport or Project Motor Racing, excuse me. Confirmed cars include so from the GT category, the Lamborghini Murcielago RGT, the Lister Storm, and the Celine S7R. GT3 so far has the Audi R8 LMS GT3 Evo 2 and the Lamborghini Huracan GT3 Evo 2. The NGT class has the Gillett Vertigo, the Morgan Aero 8 GT, the Mosler MT900R, and the TVR T400R. Hypercar has the Lamborghini SC63. LMP 900 has the Audi R8 and the Panos LMP1 Roadster. Sports Car 70 has the Lola T70 Mark IIIB. There are 6 unnamed GTE cars, and the Aston Martin Vantage GT has been confirmed separately. In addition to those cars, there's been unconfirmed cars that have been visible in the trailer, including the Ferrari 512M, the Marcos LM600, the 996 generation 911 GT3R Porsche, the Porsche 917K, the Chrysler Viper GTSR, the M3 GTR, the Ferrari 296 GT3, the Ferrari 550 GTS Maranello, the Jaguar XJ R9, and the Nissan R89C.
Okay.
So, but supposedly there will be a total of 70 cars across 10 different classes and 27 different track configurations. The only tracks that have been confirmed so far has been CTMP, otherwise known as Mosport, Kyalami, Lime Rock Park, and the Nürburgring Nordschleife.
Okay. Take an
So,
LMP 900 and fling it around
Lime Rock, yeah.
Lime Rock or Nürburgring.
Or that, yeah.
Just get it to blow over.
Wasn't there an ALMS race at Lime Rock? I feel like I'm pretty sure Lime Rock is where the R8 had its last win.
Yeah. So
I seem to remember seeing a model about that, but I don't remember if there was a hard release date yet for it. Nope, just still fall of 2025.
okay.
That's
So
all.
like I said, when we get closer to release date time, I might pick it up.
I'm still waiting to see all of the full list of cars and tracks. So, but
Right.
I mean, I've always wanted a decent feeling sim to be able to go drive the old GTS cars and have the Chrysler Viper and the 996 RSR, and I mean cars that I grew up with and still to this day love immensely.
Yeah. I mean, nothing will. I don't know. Guess it's nostalgia, but yeah, man, I used to love playing the old Test Drive Le Mans.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about the playable scenarios in F125. Like, I would love for Project Motor Racing to have like playable, 2000 Le Mans, where it's the C5R against the Viper GTSR, or Petit Le Mans from that era. Just or Celine versus Corvette at Daytona or something like that.
Oh man, give me a C5R in Daytona.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And a livery that's 98% accurate to the Earnhardt livery.
Yep. I'll just be running around.
Like, all you need to see is just that screenshot, and you're like, take my money.
Yep.
Don't care about anything else.
Yeah. If it is just yellow and has the number 3 font on the side of it, take it.
Yep. It's just like that.
Yeah.
Just like that meme of.
Yep. Yeah. 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 Or Fry shaking his money. Shut up and take my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good Lord. Yeah. If we could have a C5R in the game against the Viper at Le Mans and Daytona, yep. Money spent. And probably it was the P33, 333 Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. The 333. And speak of the devil, I'm scrolling through Facebook, and what pops up but a clip from Goodwood with footage of Andre Lauderer behind a 997 GT3R Evo.
Right.
So, yeah, don't get me wrong. I love the current generation of GT cars, but growing up through the GT1 and GT2 era and some of those epic battles with Reese and Flying Lizard and Corvette Racing and Flying Lizard, just looking at ALMS scenarios, or hell, even Aston versus Corvette at Le Mans for years,
Yeah.
and then the Pro Drive Ferraris. Oh gosh, yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, if you could take a game like that had a physics for feedback type feeling that you get from like Le Mans Ultimate, I'd be happy. I would 100% pay for that.
Yep.
Don't let us down, Ian Bell, even though you have many times over.
Even though apparently Project Cars 3 was supposed to be the most realistic simulator, and you couldn't even enter pit lane.
That game, man. We have already talked about how trash that game is. We're not going back to that. Anyway, I'll be moving on to motorsport news now. Last weekend, we had the Indy GP, or the Sonos Indy GP, I guess it was called.
Sonos?
Yeah. So anyway, highlights from that race. Poor Kiffin Simpson couldn't even get out of the pit lane before the start of the race, before he had engine failure. So it was unfortunate for him. Rahal was super strong at the start. He was made a bunch of moves, diving off into turn one, and or got the lead coming off turn one. Was looking really strong super early in the race. Unfortunately, Colton Herta ended up having some problems with his car. I don't know if he was having like some fuel pickup issues or something, but he was kind of off. He was off the pace. Unfortunately, Callum Ilott ended up running into the back of Connor Daly. Both cars spun. Connor dropped all the way to last in the running order, but he would recover for like a 15th place finish towards the end of the race for him. Ericsson unfortunately had drivetrain problems, which caused him to get spun as well. And he was more or less out of the race after that. I guess, yeah, David Land said he tried to get an interview with the team and they wouldn't even tell him what was wrong with the car. So he was guessing there's some sort of engine failure or something. Let's see here. Felix Rosenquist ended up getting spun after he got hit by VK. And unfortunately for Rahal, this is where the luck ran out for him. He was running really well. He had a slow stop trying to get a tire on, which completely knocked him out of possibly winning this race. And then David Malukas ended up pulling off a track with engine failure, which brought out the first yellow towards the end of the race. Even with the contact with Ilott and Daly and Rosenquist and VK, they still didn't throw a caution for those incidences. So not NASCAR. And because of Rahal's slow stop, Alex Palou came away with his fourth win out of 5 races this year, being extremely dominant. Like,
it's just the year of dominance in racing, apparently. And other
Yeah.
than NASCAR, I mean, you got Ferrari winning 3 in a row in WC, you got Porsche dominating IMSA, you got Palou dominating IndyCar.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, say what you will. There's a lot of IndyCar there's some IndyCar fans that are, I mean, annoyed with Palou winning all the time and stuff like that. But I mean, you can't. I mean, you can be mad about it, but unfortunately, if your driver's not stepping up to challenge him, you know,
You can't really do much.
yeah. Yeah, I think they said that there hasn't been a dominant start to the season since Scott Dixon back in the early 2010s. So when he came out and I think won like the first 4 or 5 races of the season before he got to Indy. So which I think that again that year he also didn't end up winning Indy that year. So
yeah, something tells me that if you talked with Palou, he would probably tell you he would trade all of his wins so far to be able to win Indy, especially after how last year's race ended.
Oh yeah. Oh, any of the drivers would probably trade any of those wins. Maybe bar the Long Beach race.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
which he didn't even win, so
true.
That was done by Kirkwood, so
I mean, that's kind of also how like endurance racing is. Like, yeah, you don't win the season. If you win Le Mans, you don't care.
Right. So, but so obviously this weekend is tomorrow is Fast Friday, which kicks off the actual timing of qualifying time trials and all that stuff. So they've been running the last couple of days doing practice runs and stuff like that. They've been kind of interrupted with weather off and on. And unfortunately, it sounds like this weekend they're under the gun for weather as well. They're already talking about possibly having to run the Fast 6 on Monday. So, yeah, because it's supposed to pretty much rain most of the day Saturday, and it's going to be scattered thunderstorms on Sunday as well. So, which, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if we get delayed qualifying, it is what it is, as long as we can get a clear Sunday.
Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on to WEC. They ran the 6 hours of Spa this past weekend. Some highlights from this race. The number 5 Porsche had a spin, but they kept going.
I thought it was contact from the Toyota.
Was that one contact from the Toyota?
If it was the first couple laps, then yeah.
I think so. Yeah. The number 20 BMW was passing GT cars in the grass. So, that got pretty hairy considering what happened last year there when coming up the Kemmel Straight with the Cadillac trying to overtake GT cars and getting it wrong there. Let's see here. The number 99 Porsche had gearbox failure.
Check.
Yep. The number 83 Ferrari was having turbo problems. Let's see here. The number 31 BMW ended up in the gravel trap after getting hit from the 54 Ferrari LMDH. That got the Ferrari a drive-through, I believe, for that. So, the 87 Lexus also had some sort of motor issue or power issue because they stopped on the side of the track. Both McLarens got taken out. The 95, did that get hit by an Aston Martin and get put into the tire barrier? I think that Aston Martin hit the 95 and the 59.
No, the Mercedes. So the other one that went into the wall at the end of the Camel Straight, it hip checked the car a little bit.
Was that hit by a Mercedes?
It was it was hit by a Mercedes. Which it kind of hip checked it. They didn't make the corner. Well, the one didn't make the corner.
Yeah.
And then it just rejoined straight into him and spun him.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the Mercedes that turned the first one.
Okay. And then the 94 Peugeot ended up breaking its left rear after contact with another car. So unfortunate to see for them. They brought out a full course yellow for debris on the track. Let's see. Apparently, the number 20 BMW ended up having some brake issues, which had them in the pits. There was another full course yellow for debris. The number 7 Toyota and 36 Alpine were having a pretty decent battle towards the end of the race. That was fairly exciting to watch. And then, the number 51 Ferrari ended up coming away with the win. Again, making Ferrari locking out all the races that they've run so far. And then the number 21 Ferrari also won GT3 LM. So clean sweep for Ferrari this weekend in WBC. That's
Yeah, I mean the BOP improved certain things. I mean, Alpine and BMW were extremely competitive. Toyota, according to them, so that's all you can kind of take it as is. It took them running a perfect race to move up from 13th and 15th on the grid to finish 4th and 7th or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I was hoping that the Ferrari gamble on the fuel wouldn't pay off and Alpine would have won. But it just seemed like they were able to get better fuel mileage, and then I mean, I get it. You have to call it for debris, but the timing of it could not have been better for Ferrari to benefit from.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, the BOP is still drastically off. I mean, I don't understand how you can sit there and say that last year's defending drivers champs in Porsche, and they never finished outside the top 6 in any race last year, have not finished higher than 9th this year.
Right.
And as best I can tell, Ferrari hasn't used any jokers. BMW haven't. There hasn't been anything car wise that has drastically improved pace. To me, it's solely down to the BOP being completely screwed up.
Yeah.
So, the unfortunate thing is that uh, these races kind of don't really tell you anything, because Le Mans is its own BOP process. It doesn't do the formula of the past 3 races contribute to it. And in the past, back in the LMP1 era, a lot of teams would use Spa as the prep for Le Mans to be able to test different things. And, that's kind of gone out the window in the new hypercar era, which has its pros and cons. But for teams like Toyota and Porsche that have been getting the short end of the stick, they're kind of sitting there going, well, what the hell do we have to do? If they come out on top at Le Mans, they're kind of back in the championship because it's double points for Le Mans. But if they don't, and Ferrari wins for a 3rd year in a row, you might as well just end the championship because nobody's going to overcome that.
Right.
So
yeah, barring catastrophic failure till the end of the season.
Yeah, and the odds of that are very minor.
Right.
That's just the nature of racing in today's era, that reliability has gotten so good. It really boils down to mental mistakes by the drivers behind the wheel more than it is a mechanical failure. So I mean, we'll see. It's also kind of shitty. Kevin Estre was interviewed after the race, and he was talking about stuff, and he knew exactly what he was talking about. And Kobayashi was interviewed, the day or two after the race, and or the competition manager at Toyota, one of the two. And again, same thing. They're talking about BOP, but they can't talk about BOP because FIA regulations forbid it.
Yeah. Literally, if they say anything bad, they're gonna possibly get fined.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know. You can run wild with various conspiracy theories. Propping Ferrari up until Ford comes in, and then they'll prop Ford up so that they can have a repeat of 2016 at Le Mans and whole 9 yards. But whatever, it's tough for fans of certain teams to sit there and go, "This is okay," and I know the teams are even more pissed off at it.
Yeah, and that's where I have an issue too, is like IMSA is, which we'll get into the IMSA race later on, but this has nothing to do with spoiling anything of the IMSA race yet. But like IMSA also is implementing this torque censoring BOP, and well, I guess they're more using it than how WEC uses it. So, because it seems like IMSA is going race by race, where WEC is more, it seems like every couple of races, except for this past weekend. Obviously, they did make some BOP changes before the Spa 6-hour race. So, but it just, I mean, looking at apples to apples, where you can see how the Aston is doing in each series. I mean, the Aston is far more competitive time-wise in IMSA than it is in WEC. And I mean, if they're using the same torque censoring system for adjustments to BOP, it's like, why isn't there more? I mean, more closer parity than in WEC. That's where I look at it and go, what's going on here? You know?
Yeah, and I mean, with the way WEC does it, they take the performance metrics of the 3 previous races and kind of use that as an average. I don't know if that's a good strategy because you're still pulling races from last year, and conditions are different, performance.
I mean, every
Parameters are
race
different.
you just about every race that goes on, the teams are improving the cars somewhere. Like, they're constantly evolving these cars. While they may not be listed as a Joker upgrade to the car, there's something that they are improving on the cars, whether it's weight distribution, horsepower, lightness, something. They are working on the cars. They're not just sitting in a box until the next race comes along and go, oh, here it is, we pull it out. They're doing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And if they're not physically doing stuff, they're doing stuff in the simulator,
Oh yeah.
And the drivers are figuring out where they can improve things based on the last time they were at a particular track. And so that's, to me, where the advantage goes to IMSA, because they're doing it race by race, but they're using, as best I can tell, kind of a fixed set of data points. They're not using this like rolling average of the past 3 race results. They're
right.
They're doing it race by race, same as WEC is now, versus WEC last year kind of had the BOP locked in pre-Le Mans and then post-Le Mans, and then they made some slight alterations to that as the season went along. But yeah, I mean, you've seen the Aston have performance that's improved race after race. I guess credit to Aston and WC. They almost scored their first points at Spa, but
right.
Yeah, you have to sit there and go, how the hell did IMSA in their first season of having to balance hybrid versus non-hybrid prototypes get it better than WC that's had this issue for 3 years or 4
right.
years, all the way back to when it was just Toyota versus Glickenhaus. And I don't get it. To me, it would be a lot better product, and it would be easier for fans to swallow Ferrari having a 3-peat when last year there was no more than 2 cars that won twice throughout the entire season, and you had no repeat winner before Le Mans. Actually, you had no repeat winner through Le Mans, but anyway, if the fact that like it came down to getting lucky with a safety car, or your roll of the dice on splitting the cars on pit strategy paid off, or weather was a factor, but at the beginning of the race or at the end of the race, like you had up and down battles like you had with the Alpine and the Toyota, or the Alpine chasing down the Ferrari, like but you had that for 4 or 5 different cars.
Right.
Like that's what fans want. They none of this like Ferrari jumps out to a 50-second lead and then over time it slowly gets whittled because of safety cars and whatever, but they're relatively unchallenged.
Right.
But yeah, it is interesting to me that IMSA has somehow gotten this better. Like it's kind of flipped. Like they've done a better job with the prototype BOP, but a slightly worse job on the GT BOP.
Right.
Versus WC has a great GT BOP and a shitty prototype BOP.
Yeah.
So just like take the good stuff, keep it, throw out the bad stuff across both sides, and call it a day.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, and I mean, yeah, it is, some of it on the GT side is it is, some of it is BOP related, but it's also seems like on IMSA's side you have more of a diverse lineup of drivers as far as skill set goes than you do in WEC. So
Yeah.
and obviously the GT field in IMSA is way bigger than the one in WEC.
Right.
So, but anyway, so yeah, like I said, Ferrari swept the weekend, both classes, undefeated in hypercar this year. So yeah, another series of dominance going on, which is kind of happening in NASCAR as well, just not as predominant, but it's still going on, which will segue into the NASCAR race at Kansas. So starting off with the highlights of that, AJ Allmendinger had an engine expire super early. Definitely had some choice words for the ECR engines. Apparently, he was asked by Richard to not be so vocal on the engine problems and that they are working on them. So that was coming from Austin. He was on the DBC or Door Bumper Clear podcast on Monday, and he said, RC was not happy with AJ's comments and called him personally to talk to him and tell him not to be so harsh on the engine program. Let's see here. William Byron loses a tire, but ends up making it into pit road. They didn't throw a caution for that. The tire literally disintegrated on his car. Let's see here. That was kind of it for stage one. Larson took stage one. And then during stage two, SVG ended up bouncing off the wall, but kept going. Hamlin ended up having trouble during the green flag pit stops. Wheel nut ended up coming off, so the crew member had to pull the extra wheel nut off of his belt loop and put it on there. And then, yeah, rinse and repeat of stage one. Larson dominant again. Took the stage two win. Starting off stage three, Keselowski ended up blowing a tire, bringing out the yellow. Unfortunately, Hamlin would also have clutch problems for his car. He literally said that he'd go to push the clutch in to get it off pit road, and it would go from completely soft to, as soon as you pushed on the pedal, it'd go all the way to the floor and lock up. So apparently that's some sort of issue they've been having with the clutches in the bell housings of the gearbox. So Jack, fix that. Because again, we know you're responsible for the NASCAR gearboxes as well. So yeah. Let's see here. Suarez and Daniel Suarez, Cody Ware were involved in a crash. The collected Ty Dillon got involved as well. Man, Kyle Busch just can't have any luck this year, because he was literally down on the inside of this, out of the way, and still got ran into the door and spun out from this. So just unfortunate for Kyle Busch. He did he got a push back to the pit road, but his day was pretty much done. Justin Haley ended up making contact with Eric Jones, triggering another multi-car wreck into turn 1 and 2. So unfortunate for those guys. They were having an okay day, not the greatest day. Let's see. Hocevar ended up losing a tire. He ended up hitting the wall and was able to pit before the tire completely blew out. No caution for that. And then Kyle Larson ended up coming away with the race victory. So he took both stages and the race win. So yeah, another again dominating performance from Kyle Larson. We do have some penalties to talk about for the race. So Chris Buescher and RFK Racing, 17 team has been issued an L1 penalty after Kansas. Was discovered during the teardown at the R&D center. The violation, was discovered at the teardown after the R&D center. He had some sort of. Unfortunately, this article does not load properly because it's an MSN article, so it wants you to pay. Let me go to NASCAR.com and see if I can get the penalty real quick.
So the penalty was for
front bumper cover.
Yeah, NASCAR says the maximum 2 inches of reinforcement behind the front bumper foam had been exceeded. So they violated 14.1.c and 14.5.4.g. So RFK Racing does have the option to appeal the penalty. The team has been fined $75,000 and been docked 60 owner points, 60 driver points, and 5 playoff driver and owner points. In addition, the crew chief has been suspended for the next 2 events. Brad Moran, who's NASCAR Cup Series managing director, commented on the penalty. He said, unfortunately, the number 17 did not meet the rule and had a larger area than what is permitted to be bonded into the nose piece. They can work in that area, but they went too far would be the simplest terms of putting it. RFK issued a statement on Thursday saying RFK Racing acknowledges the penalty is assessed by the NASCAR to the number 17 Ford Mustang following this past weekend's race in Kansas. We remain committed to full compliance with NASCAR's rules. At this time, we are carefully reviewing the details of the situation to determine if we file an appeal within the time frame allotted.
Yep.
So yeah, Scott Graves has been suspended for the next 2 Cup Series events through Charlotte Motor Speedway. So I guess that means what, the All-Star race and the Coke 600?
Yeah, but if they choose to appeal it, it will push out that for 1 week. So technically, he'll be back for the All-Star race. But then if they get denied again, then he'll still be out for the 600 and then the race after that. So,
yeah.
I mean, do you kind of take your lick and just come back after the Coke 600, or do you push it out 1 week, get to go to the All-Star race, but then still possibly have to sit out the 600 and the race after that?
Yeah. It also says if there is an appeal, the parts would be in the NASCAR hauler for the race at Charlotte Motor Speedway. However, if there is no appeal, NASCAR will likely bring the parts to the garage area this weekend in North Wilkesboro and give a detailed video walkthrough of the violation.
Ooh, more show and tell.
That I have to appreciate NASCAR for. IMSA could use could learn a thing or two when it comes to penalty transparency.
Honestly, I think all race series should be doing this.
Agreed. However, that's the only thing that NASCAR is getting right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So yeah, back to Larson's win. Yeah, again, we got another team that's seemingly fairly dominant this early in the season. It was talked about on another podcast. It might have been DVC as well. They talked about all Larson needs to do is win 3 more stages and 1 or 2 more races, and he essentially now would have enough points to bypass round 1 in the championship.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, even if he didn't even race those races or finish dead last in every single race and somehow scored 0 points, which technically isn't possible because if you start the race, you still get at least 1 point.
Mm-hmm.
He would be able to go into round 2 with no wins whatsoever. So, I mean, I know people kind of criticize the point system on, rewarding fluke wins and people getting into the championships, but I mean, you can't argue with somebody's dominance that they're winning every week and taking every stage, that they can basically just walk their way into the next round based on the point system. So, I mean, and looking back at the Winston Cup Series points, he would already have a 3-race lead based off of the point system. So, I mean, even if we were going back to old point system, pre-chase and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, crazy. All right. Moving on to the IMSA race at Laguna Seca. Let's see here. The number 48 BMW got a start penalty violation for moving before the start finish line, which netted them a drive-through. Let's see. The number 6 Porsche made some contact with, which I didn't put on here what car that was because I don't think I remember what it was. Slowed down for a little bit, but they kept going on the track. So yeah, some issues early for the number 6 Porsche. The number 27 Aston got bonked off the track by the number 120 Porsche. So unfortunate for Aston Martin there. And then the number 60 Acura ended up getting tagged by the I think that was the number 4 Corvette, and ended up getting some rear body damage. The Acura went in on the inside and into the final corner there and slowed up because there was another GT car right in front of him, and the Corvette just kind of ran into the back of him. I mean, so I don't think there was any penalties or anything issued there, which I guess is more or less a racing incident because the GT cars are actually better in the braking zones than the GTP cars are, given ABS and traction control. Let's see, the number 31 Cadillac and 93 Acura were having a heck of a battle and banging doors with each other and just driving out of their minds, man. Just watching that race between those two was wild. I mean, they were splitting GT cars, running off track on each other, and man, it was really exciting to watch. Let's see, the number 10 Cadillac ended up hip checking the number 85 and sending it off track. Let's see here, and then getting towards the end of the race, BMW was trying to race the number 7 Porsche. They're battling super hard, and the 24 BMW tried to make a attempt at the end of the race there and made contact with a 7 Porsche, and unfortunately sent themselves off there at the final corner. And then that dropped the 24 BMW down the standings there. And the number 6 Porsche comes away with the win in GTP. Roxy ended up keeping itself clean more or less for the entire race. They came away with a win. That's the first race win for the Roxy paint, which is like
she gets to go to the dentist and get her tooth.
Yeah, yep, the pink dinosaur livery Porsche. They were talking about possibly having. They were making jokes about since Rexy and Roxy have won that they need to come out with a third paint color.
Yep. Time for Thomas the Triceratops or something.
Barney. Get a purple one in there.
Technically,
they
they
had
do have a
Spike
third
already,
paint color. It's just an
so-
LMP2.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's Spike. So
Mm.
I don't know. And the number 57 Windward Mercedes comes away with another win. They're dominating this year in GTD. So, I mean, yeah, just domination all around. Although this is technically the first win this season for the number 6 Porsche, because the number 7 has technically been the one that's been cleaning up the track. So,
yep.
But yeah, that's all I got. Unfortunately, dang Porsche keeps on winning.
You love to see it.
No, you don't. But at least, like I said, we talked about before with the BOP, at least with IMSA, they're constantly moving the BOPs to bring the cars closer together. So,
okay. Speaking of people that are fumbling things and not because of BOP, can we talk for a second, because we don't have it on our list, about the fact that Wayne Taylor is having rough outings in the Cadillac, and he thinks it's a great idea to run a dual program in IMSA and WEC. I mean, has he seen the fact that his team can't even compete in IMSA?
right. I mean, to be fair, too, Meyer Shank has been struggling with the Acura as well.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, I give them a pass because they've been out of the sport for a year or two, but still.
It's like they're like, here, we'll swap cars back, or we'll swap cars, and we'll both fail.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like, I can't even say that it's a Cadillac issue, because the Wayland Cadillac seems to be doing just fine. It's the
Yeah.
Wayne Taylor cars.
Yeah.
And his solution is, yeah, let's add 2 more cars and go run in WC.
All I have to say is somehow they found out something in the BMW that can unleash what they needed to.
Well, RLL's problem is their drivers keep making the mistakes.
Yeah, nothing you can really do about that.
The BMW on the WEC side has been real strong. And I mean, even the BMW in IMSA has been super strong, but they keep snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Magnussen was a much needed addition to this, as in prototype experience.
Well, I mean, he is, and he's working out really well on the WEC side. So, like I said, WRT's got their stuff figured out. RLL, not so much.
I mean, I guess this is what happens when you have a bunch of GT drivers with a lot of success and then kind of chuck them into.
Yeah, which is why there's these rumors we talked about in a previous podcast, the rumors going around of possibly BMW looking for another team to run the American side. So, I mean, although with the Ford stuff looming, like I said, now it seems like it's probably not going to be Chip Ganassi. So, which, yeah, it's which will transition into our next topic here for containing WEC and IMSA. It was announced, this article by Sportscar 365, that in 27, the Ford LMDH would be a WEC exclusive competition car, at least for the entire championship. They aren't ruling out a possible Daytona or Sebring or endurance round runs for IMSA, but their primary focus, at least for the 27 season, will be WEC, and then in 28, looking to expand to a multi series team going forward. So, So yeah, their car will be debuted as. Oh, they don't give a name of it yet. I thought in this article that they gave the name of the car, but they have not yet. So, I mean, if it looks like anything similar to possibly like what is it, the Mark IV or something that's out right now, Ford GT or some similar to that.
Yeah, the Ford GT Mark IV, yeah, which I actually saw in person. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Didn't we see it when we went to 23 Daytona? Didn't they have it out, or am I thinking of the GTD?
No, that was the Mark II, I think. Yeah.
I mean, either way, it still had a gigantic splitter. So.
Yeah, somebody in one garage at Coda during Super Lab Battle had a Mark III and a Mark IV parked nose to tail.
Right.
Just incredible. I gotta edit the pictures and post them. Absolutely insane.
So yeah. So basically, for American fans, other than the endurance rounds in 27, you'll have to wait till 28 for a full Ford factory team in prototype. So, and then, all right, continuing on with our sports car news, we'll kind of skip around here with this article. The full lineup for the 24 Hours of Le Mans has been revealed. So the entry list will contain 186 drivers. The list will feature 62 cars. 21 of them will be in hypercar, 17 LMP2s, and 24 LMGT3s. It says there were no major surprise additions to the previously published list, but most of the lineups have pretty much now been locked in and confirmed. Proton Competitions ELMS full season lineup is now going to be on the number 11 Orica. RLR Sport will race with Vector Sport. Star Wars Ryan Cullen, Patrick Pile, and the previously confirmed Mikael Jensen. CLX Pure Racing Orca will have Alex McCallum and Acura MSR's Tom Blomqvist competing in it. And the TDS number 29 will be steered by Clement Novalk, Rodrigo Sales, and Matthias Beche. Probably saying that name wrong. And also IMSA GTP driver Luis Deltraz. Let's see. AO Racing's number 199 Orca will have PJ Hyatt in it, and Dane Cameron. So let's see, the number 57 Ferrari will have Casper Stevenson in it. And the Akados, ASP, and Iron Lynx will have Ben Barncoat and Colliado Schiavone in it. Let's see. Just running down the full list here of other. You got your, obviously the Astons are in it for the hypercar. All three Porsches are in it, the 4, 5, and 6. Both Toyotas. Both Hertz Team Jota Cadillacs. The BMW, both the BMWs are in it. Both Alpines. all 3 of the Ferraris, both the Peugeots, the number 99 Proton Competition is also in it. And then from the US, we have Cadillac WRT, and then the Whelen Cadillac in the number 311. The Wayne Taylor Cadillac is number 101. That'll have Ricky and Jordan Taylor in it with Felipe Albuquerque. So hyper fast lineup in that car. Jack Aiken, Felipe Dragovic, and Frederic Vesti will be in the Cadillac Wieland. In P2, you'll have Iron Lynx with their Proton competition in there. Proton competition will have 2 technically cars in there. Again, RLLM Sport, IDEX Sport will be there. United Autosport with 2 entries. Nielsen Racing, Algarve Pro Racing will be there. So 2 IDEX Sport cars, 2 Interpool competitions, an AF Corsa car, and obviously the AO Racing will be in there, and the VDS Panis Racing will also have an entry there. In GT3, you'll have Racing Spirit of Le Mans in there with their Aston Martin. AWA will be there in their Corvette via winning the GTD race at Daytona. And then obviously Heart of Racing will have their Aston Martins in there. The Ben Team WRT, TF Sport, Iron Lynx is running their 3 Mercedes, which seen pictures of those. Those are throwbacks to the Sauber C9 Mercedes that ran in the early 90s. So those cars look mint. Mm-hmm. Toyota released, forgot to bring that up too. Toyota for the number 7 is running their GT1 throwback scheme on it. That looks mint as well.
Indeed.
Manti Racing will have both of their cars in it. TF Sport will have their cars as well. I was trying to see, I think in the one TF Sport car, I think is at the 30. The 33, yeah. The 33 will have Keating in the car. So, yeah. And the other invite car is Ziggo Sport Tempestia in a Ferrari. And then on the reserve car list is in Hypercar is the number 44 Proton competition. In P2, we've got DKR Engineering, DeCoin has a team, and a spare Vector Sport car as well. And then in GT3, we have GR Racing with a Ferrari, and JMW Motorsports also with a Ferrari. So yeah. And then obviously as we get closer to the race and BOPs and stuff come out, or we'll talk more about that. Yeah, so that's your entry list there for Le Mans this year. All right. Moving on to some more entry list news. It was announced that the 24 Hours of Spa is now ballooned to 76 car entries, which is Crazy. Yeah, that's it'll feature this year's field will feature 21 cars in Pro, 19 cars in Bronze Cup, and 16 cars in Silver. There are 12 cars that have been entered into the Gold Cup class, while Pro Am is the smallest category with 7. Obviously, you've got majority of the pro fields are made up by Good Smile Racing, Dynamic GT, Team WRT, Row Racing. The defending winners, Kamatu Racing, are back with their 007 Aston Martin. That's got Marco Sorensen, Nikki Tim, and Mattia Druid. Let's see here. There are 10 total manufacturers in the grid, with Corvette Z06 being represented this year, with Jor Motorsports, JMR, and Stellar Motorsports. The Jor car is entered in Bronze Cup. This will also have factory driver Alexander Sims in it. Let's see here. Scrolling down to some more cars. BMW factory driver Connor D. Filippi has also been added to the number 15 BMW. Let's see here. Jake Dennis returns in the Paradigm competition. That's also a BMW M4. Scrolling down, U.S. squad Wright Motorsports joins the Gold Cup grid with the 120 car. With Elliott Skier, Tom Sargent, Adam Adelson, and a yet to be named 4th driver yet. IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship driver Jack Hawksworth has been named as a 4th driver for the number 188 Garage 59 McLaren. He'll also be sharing, let's see here, with Zach Robichon, taking up a similar role in the number 74 Kessel Racing Ferrari. Yeah, so that's kind of a short list of the drivers and stuff that'll be participating in the massive grid for the Spa 24 this year, which is going to be crazy to see.
Yep.
Oh man, that'd be wild if if iRacing could have 76 cars on the grid.
Our safety rating would cease to exist.
I am just trembling in the fear of having to watch that start.
Everybody gets 2 frames per second at the start.
Yeah, especially if it's raining. God help us all.
Just imagine that.
Office on fire.
Yeah. What's that smoke? Oh, that's my PC.
Yeah.
You know, Zin's connection won't handle it.
The connection will handle it just fine.
Yeah.
So, all right. Moving on to our next news topic here. This article is by motorsport.com. It says Harrison Burton is expected to can't even speak now. Harrison Burton is making an unexpected return in the NASCAR All-Star Series race.
Oh yeah, because he's a race winner from last year.
Yep. So he gets a free admit into the race. So he will be driving the number 51 Rick Ware Racing Ford for the All-Star race. Obviously, the car is normally piloted by Cody Ware, but because Cody Ware doesn't have a win, he is not eligible for the race. At least he could technically qualify for the open race, which he will do in the number 15 car, but the number 51 will be piloted by Harrison Burton. So good to see Harrison get back into a Cup car, even if it is only for a one-off appearance. So he's obviously been running in the Xfinity Series for 2025, driving for the AM Racing team. He's pretty much had a top 5 for every race this year in Xfinity, so he seems to be doing pretty good there. So yeah. That is all the news articles that I have. So I don't know if you guys have anything else any topics you want to bring up or discuss.
No.
So this is actually kind of insane. So I'm scrolling through the majors Discord, which by the way,
more insane than the guy hitting himself with a boomerang and getting money.
No, that's
okay.
peak content. I
okay.
started the show off at the top. We've just
okay. It's all gone downhill.
We've gone downhill from there.
We've returned to our normal status quo now. So for those that are interested, the Majors 24 registration opened this week. It will rain a lot, so just prepare yourself for that. But no, somebody pointed out that between iRacing events and real life events, June and July is a motorsport fan's heaven at this point. So starts off June 27th or June 7th is the Nürburgring 24 hours on iRacing.
Mm-hmm.
Next weekend, June 14th, Father's Day weekend, is the 24 hours in Le Mans in real life. The following weekend, on June 21st, is Majors 24 and the in real life 24 hours of Nürburgring. The following week, June 28th, is the in real life Spa 24. The following weekend, July 5th, is free, so everybody can celebrate the greatest holiday in the world, Independence Day.
Well, we also technically have the 6 hours of Watkins Glen going on.
Yeah, I do think it is that weekend.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
so technically not free.
The real life one is June 21st weekend, but I think iRacing's Watkins Glen is the weekend of July 5th. Let me check that.
Yeah.
Hold, please. Oh, I already have forms open. Perdón. Un momento. We are checking. No, Watkins Glen 6 hours is June 27th, so that matches up with the in real life Spa 24. So the weekend of July 5th is in fact free because the only thing going on that week is the Firecracker 400, which is 87 NASCARs at Daytona.
So free space.
Yes. And then,
in your bingo card.
Exactly. And then July 11th is, or July 12th is the iRacing Spa 24.
Right.
So we're going to have a lot of 24 hours and 6 hour races, and we're going to be so tired of iRacing by the time the middle of July comes around.
I mean, every weekend until probably the mid to the end of July is going to be we're either going to be watching a 24-hour race, partaking in a 24-hour race, watching in some sort of endurance event going on. Like, it's just going to be.
Oh, and building on that, so
sir, I am not going to sleep at all for the month of June through July because I will stay up for all of it.
Little insider trading here: buy your stock of Red Bull and Monster because Sean, Malone, and Don are going to buy out the inventory of the United States.
Yeah.
So anyway, carrying on, preliminary schedule for Global Endurance Tour for Season 3, which those that know, in Season 3. iRacing gets around the not having the official 24 hours of Le Mans by putting it into the Global Endurance where all the races are 24 hours. So the preliminary schedule has Motegi, Mosport, Road America, Daytona, VIR, and Le Mans. I don't know what's more terrifying, 24 hours of Mosport or 24 hours of VIR.
We will not be doing either one of those. Daytona is a possibility. Yeah, Le Mans is probably going to be a definite.
Yeah, I would say we'll do Daytona and Le Mans. They're probably going to be a month apart because these are usually every 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
um,
Does it give a preliminary date for the Le Mans one?
no, but if this is going off of it, it's going to be towards the end of season 3, which puts it probably in October timeframe.
Okay.
So
Because
hopefully it's
I
not the
think when
first
we
week in October.
yeah, because that's also because yeah, in October we've got the Petite and then obviously Bathurst, which I want to do Bathurst this year in the Camaro.
Yeah. So
But
based on what
I was
I'm
just saying that
seeing,
because I don't know where Daytona and them fall in that September calendar because we will be at Bristol.
yeah. So based on what I'm seeing, so week 12 of season 2 is going to be the week of June 2nd. So that puts week 13 and June 9th when the new build goes out. Season 3 will start the week of June 16th. So if they do the Global Endurance starting on week 1, which I don't remember if they did or if they waited till week 2. But if we say it's week 1 and it's every 2 weeks, so that would be Motegi, Mosport on the week of the 30th. Road Americas, July 14th. Daytona would be the week of July 28th. VIR would be August 11th, and that would put Le Mans sometime around the week of August 25th, potentially.
Okay.
So that would put it August 30th and 31st.
I think I might be working that weekend.
Time to cash in some of that sick time.
I got lots of vacation time coming up, so
yeah. So okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So week 13 for season 3 would be the week of September 8th. So season 4 would start September 15th.
okay.
So when are you guys going to Bristol again?
It's I took the 7th through the 17th off, but it's
I took the 8th through the 16th off.
Okay, so you guys would be gone week 13 and week 1 for season.
Okay.
So Le Mans would be before that. So
okay. So we should be good to do Le Mans then.
Yes.
And Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well,
fuck me sideways.
Uh-oh. I mean, pass, but uh-oh.
No, I'm looking at the calendar, and my fear was confirmed. I'm going to be missing Petit Le Mans again this year.
Oh, no. Where are you going now?
To the Dragon.
Oh, no. Bring the sim rig in the back of the Mini.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
Yeah,
I mean,
everyone should be one.
Or you come to us with Bristol, you go on the Dragon with us, and then don't worry about Minis take the Dragon.
No, I'm doing it with family. So, and as Dom says, nothing is more important than family.
Except race cars.
Yeah, except racing. Racing is always more. Listen, to be a true racer, you have to put your passion first before your family. Put the content first.
So nobody watches the content.
Listen, if you live stream from your Twitch channel on going on the Dragon, no.
Yeah, I could.
So as long as you get good reception, I don't know how.
Yeah, I feel like I need to switch to AT&T, but to have any shot at that. But
I don't know.
I don't know. They've been renovating the cabins at Fontana Village to have Wi-Fi now. So
yeah, but alrighty. Well,
that's the equivalent of McDonald's Wi-Fi. So even if I did bring the rig, I'll probably have disconnects.
Oh, nothing new. Nothing new.
Since car's going like this, it's flying in the air. It just keeps lifting up and down.
Yeah, I didn't know. Hey, we had exhibit out here. We got a lowrider.
Yeah.
Nothing more than your ISP just doing maintenance. So just chalk it up to that.
Yeah.
Right. So, All right. Well, that is it for our show. Let's see. This weekend we've got Indy 500 qualifying, NASCAR All Star, IMSA's off, WC's off, Formula One's off. I think Formula One's off. Are they running? No, I think they're off.
They're in. Aren't they at Imola?
Are they literally running Imola then Monaco?
I think they might be. Yeah, they're at Imola this weekend, and then
Okay,
Monaco next weekend.
So not too far out of a drive for the teams there.
Nope.
So yeah, Formula One will be at Imola, so we'll be talking Formula One next week. Who's on the pole for the 500, and then obviously the NASCAR All Star race. So
all we will be talking about is the stupidity that is the promoter caution.
You know, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's such a non-topic that it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. So we'll just see how it plays out. So,
with the way NASCAR has been handling things, they'll probably come out and say tomorrow, "Hey, all the cars are going to have 950 horsepower now for 1 weekend only," and they just won't ever be able to use it.
Right. I mean, at least it'd be something. But anyway, we will talk to everybody next week. So, see you later. Bye.
Goodbye.
Later, everybody.